Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with your free daily update for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. I will try and get this done in under 10 minutes, but I might not be able to. Price is moving lower. I had a big question mark about XRP. I wasn't confident that low was in, and I think yesterday I said I was 60-40 confident the low was in for Ethereum. I didn't give you odds for Bitcoin, but the previous low here for Bitcoin's been breached. That what was strong support at 29,000 has finally been breached after quite a lot of work to get there. Now let's look for next support, 27,400, and below that 24,800. I've redrawn my channel around this pullback. I've drawn the first trend line from this high along to this high, and I pulled a copy down here. This lower edge might provide support. Now I do still expect this is a pullback within an ongoing upward trend. My Elliott Wave count, which I'm sorry I can't show you for Bitcoin, that's a subscription on my website, but it is extremely bullish. I will show you my Elliott Wave counts for Ethereum and XRP though. What's volume doing? It was pushing price lower yesterday. This is quite bearish. I will expect a little bit more follow through, more downward movement. ADX says there's no clear trend. It's declining. It's interesting though. It's getting down to relatively low levels. Let's watch this the next few weeks. Could give us a really strong signal. A cross of the negative DX line above the positive yesterday tells us there's a potential trend change to down, but they have been whipsawing lately, so that's not definitive. Stochastics is nearing oversold. It's still in neutral territory, so let's expect price to continue down and stochastics to reach again back into oversold. This upward swing, it didn't get overbought and price didn't get to resistance, so that upward swing never eventuated, as this model would explain. The model isn't perfect. None of this is perfect. It's all a balance of probability. So more downward movement until stochastics reaches oversold. Taking a quick look at RSI and ADX, they're below 50, so in the bottom half of neutral, but they're not oversold, so there's further room for price to go down. And money flow is in just above 50. I'll use RSI preferably rather than money flow. Money flows to add a bit of depth, but I give more weight to RSI. So the biggest takeaways today: yesterday's completed session, volume is pushing price lower. Price has managed to break below that very strong support that was at 29,000. So now expect price to continue falling to next support, either 27,400 or this trend line down here. The bigger picture for Bitcoin is still bullish. Just keep your eye on the bigger picture. This is a pullback within an ongoing bull market, a secular bull market for Bitcoin. Using the moving average picture, the longer term moving averages are still all positive and sloping up, the mid-term flattening off, and the short term in flux. So keep your eye on the bigger picture. This bull market has deep bear markets within it, 70, 80, 90% bear markets, but overall this picture is bullish, so don't panic. It's a very short-term pullback within an ongoing upward trend. That's my analysis anyway. Ethereum, the Elliott Wave count sees a third wave at primary degree within a third wave at cycle degree in its early stages. Still only intermediate wave 1, minor 2, minute 1, minute 2. My previously drawn base channel around minute 1 and 2 is no longer working, so I'm redrawing it around minor 1 and 2. If price gets down to this trend line, it may find support there. So how low is Ethereum going to go? Well, it's still rocketing down today, and it looks like it's doing so with increased range and volume. Pullbacks for cryptocurrencies do often end with quite a lot of strength, so this could be either the final day or really close to it. Here's an example. A lot of strength here, a lot of strength the day before the end, and now we've got a low. Down to this low back here, November 2022, a lot of strength, some consolidation, and some reasonable strength at the low. So it's quite normal to see a lot of downward strength at or very close to a low. Doesn't mean it has to be the low, but it is one thing that's common to see at or close to a low, so don't panic. I have a target for you for Ethereum, 1665. I am seeing this pullback as a zigzag. Subunit A, subunit B, a running contracting triangle, and subunit C will reach equality in length with subunit A at 1665. I've also got an Elliott channel around this correction from the start of A to the end of B with a parallel copy on the end of A. Use the lower edge as a potential area where price might find support. Minuet 2 may not move beyond the start of 1, below 1622.92. The technical picture for Ethereum is fairly bearish. There was fairly strong support at 1,800. It's broken through that, so let's expect price to fall to next support, which is 1,716. If you want to know how I calculate support and resistance, I look left, and I'm drawing these horizontal lines to hit as many highs and lows, preferably opens and closes, but highs and lows will do. And if I can see something that has plenty of hits before, then I draw in a line. So 1716 next support I can find for Ethereum. Like Bitcoin, Ethereum yesterday, a downward session with volume pushing price lower. Let's expect it's quite likely for price to follow through with some more downward movement. For Ethereum, there is a downward trend in place. It's nowhere near extreme, and RSI is not oversold. Money flow is not oversold. So there's plenty of room for this downward trend to continue for Ethereum. In order to have confidence that it's over, I want to see a bullish candlestick reversal pattern, and then I want to see a breach of this now more conservatively drawn trend channel. I've drawn it from this high to sit on these highs, pulled a parallel copy on this low. This trend line I want to see breached by a full daily candlestick of upward movement above and not touching that trend line to have any confidence at all that the downward trend is over. This channel is now more conservatively drawn than my previous channel, by which I mean the upper edge has a more shallow slope. The more shallow the slope, the closer to horizontal, the more technically significant. XRP, also a very bullish Elliott wave count. Primary 1, primary 2, primary 3 may only subdivide as an impulse, and within it, intermediate wave 1 must be a 5-wave motive structure. Looks like it's an impulse with minor 1 and 2 complete, minute 1 complete, and now minute wave 2 continuing lower. I had a big question about whether or not the low was in for XRP. It wasn't, and it is continuing lower. Minute wave 1 is a leading expanding diagonal. Following leading diagonals in first wave positions, the following second wave correction is commonly very deep. So let's expect more downward movement for XRP. Let's look out for it possibly to find support at the lower edge of this channel. I've drawn from this low to the end of minor 2, extended it on out. On the daily chart, trying to answer the question of how low is XRP going to go, let's now look for next support at the logarithmic function of the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio, 0.4736. Someone's commented to me in comments underneath these videos that my Fibonacci retracement levels are not correct arithmetically. I know they're not. I've applied the logarithmic function to them because of the extreme volatility of cryptocurrencies. It does work better if you use the log function of the Fibonacci ratios, not the mathematically accurate Fibonacci ratios themselves. So 0.4736 is my target for support for XRP. It might take a little while to get there. We might see it find support at this channel, but the lower edge of this channel could be overshot and it could head down for a strong low. Same channel on the technical chart. We had a bullish long lower wick here. There's a bullish long lower wick on yesterday's candle, now possibly developing a bearish upper wick on today's candle. In the interim though, before we get to that target, it might be a little bit too low because there is actually pretty strong support for XRP really close below at 55 cents. So watch carefully when it gets to 55 cents how it's going to behave there. Now this channel is a very conservative channel, so if we saw a breach above this channel of a full daily candlestick above and not touching, I'd have quite a lot of confidence that the pullback for XRP would then be underway. I'd also want to see a bullish candlestick reversal pattern, and I would want to see it have support from volume. But as we've seen, even if you see a good bullish candlestick pattern with support from volume, it doesn't mean the pullback has to be over. It can turn around, it can have a bounce after that, turn around and make new lows. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, the lows for cryptocurrencies are really, really hard to identify. I've spent a lot of time, particularly on Bitcoin, quite carefully studying its prior sustained lows and looking at all of the technical indicators I use, and trying to find some commonality in between them. And there really isn't much. In fact, you have to wait quite a while after the lows before you can see enough technical bullishness to have confidence that those lows are going to be sustained. So the highs are a little bit easier, although none of this is easy. But just so you know, the lows are really, really hard to find. That's it from me with your free update today for Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and a reminder we have our newest subscription available, analysis 5 days a week for gold with a video on Friday. I'll give a link in the description box down below. Click through, check that out. We've been incredibly accurate with our gold analysis lately. We've been expecting this downward movement and we've got some pretty good targets for you there. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for your support and thank you so much for your engagement, especially on the vote. I'll be doing a vote every week and the winner every week is what I'm going to give you free analysis of. So thank you for your engagement. That's really fun.